This video will serve as a model to begin helping you learn how to write Teach the Text key points. Supporting students in comprehending grade level text involves first identifying what the key points are that you want students to understand by the end of the reading. Once they know the key points, you can plan questions to address them, and then you'd facilitate. We'll first start by learning how to identify key points within a reading. Identifying key points is tricky, as there's often many aspects of a text that seem important. Thinking about these specific ideas can help guide you to find the most important key points. If you have not already, pause to read Chapter 1 of The Breadwinner. Then restart the video to review the exemplar Teach the Text key points that follow. The chapter begins by describing Parvana's family, their living conditions, and the hardships that they face. This juncture is crucial because it establishes the setting, an apartment in Kabul, and the backstory of the family's struggle since the Taliban took over power. This key point here, again, highlights a critical part of the text. It illustrates the physical limitations of her father, suggesting why Parvana's support is vital and setting up the tension for what will happen if he's unable to work. This key point is critical because Parvana accompanies her father to the market, and the scene that described in this adventure reveals the limitations imposed on women and girls and further highlights that Parvana's role in helping her family is really crucial. When writing Teach the Text key points, there are a few common mistakes you should try to avoid. The first being conflating key points with theme. And here you see an example of that. Life under the Taliban rule for Parvana and her family is oppressive and restrictive. It is true that Parvana and her family live under the oppressive rule of the Taliban, but this conveys a broader concept within the book that's similar to theme. Effective key points are plot-driven and are insight into the importance of key moments within the text. This is another example of a common mistake. This is just a basic fact from the story. Parvana's father lost his leg. It doesn't offer insight into why this fact is important or the implications that this has on Parvana and her family. So these two are both not key points. They're common mistakes that people make when writing Teach the Text key points, or examples of common mistakes. Here you can see one of the non-examples we had on the last slide. Parvana's father lost his leg. And let's take a moment to compare that to our exemplar key point that is in line with the same story event. The exemplar key point addresses the exact same part of the story, but it digs deeper by explaining importance and relevance to character development, plot, setting, and the author's main objective, making it an exemplar key point. And here we have it again. This time it's color-coded. In red, you can see the basic story fact. Parvana's dad lost his leg when a bomb went off at his school, limiting his mobility. In green, you see the importance, and in this case, its importance in relevance to Parvana's character development, specifically her critical role in supporting her dad to support their family. Writing effective key points is difficult. One strategy that may be helpful as you're starting out is to identify story events or facts first, and then explain why they're important to the plot, setting, or character development to include in your key point as well. So you'll get a chance to apply this later on in the session and in our in-person session, but you'll have access to this video to refer to as needed.